there's anything in life or in my health journey that I've learned along the way, it's that apparently I have really simple taste buds. And those simple taste buds led me to loving things like chicken strips. So today for the meal prep, we're making extremely easy, really healthy, delicious air-fried chicken strips. It only takes 4 ingredients, it's really quick to make to get 5 meals, really high in protein. So let's get started. To get started with the chicken strips, you're going to need an obvious ingredient, the chicken. I take 6 chicken breasts, it's about 51 ounces, get them laid out on your cutting board, and then proceed to trim all the fat off of the chicken because you don't want that fat to get bound up underneath all the breading that you're going to be putting on this chicken. Then set that fat aside for later and then look at the underside of one of your chicken breasts. You're looking for a thin strip on the side. This is called the tenderloin. Sometimes this tenderloin will just rip straight off. Most times you're going to have to cut it though. So proceed to cut that tenderloin off the chicken strip to create your first strip, and then cut the same size strip off the rest of the chicken breast. You do this because you don't want some chicken strips to get overcooked, and you don't want some to get undercooked if you do them bigger or smaller. So make sure they're all the same size. You'll find that this leaves you with some chicken pieces that are smaller than strips, so you could either A, cut those into little nuggies and make yourself some nuggies at the end of this, or do what I did and set them aside, cook them up for the 2 best golden retrievers a man has ever had. And I think Jackie and Riley would agree that I made the right decision. With the cuteness overload out of the way, here's your PSA that you're touching raw chicken, you now have salmonella on your hands. So either A, wash your hands regularly, or B, do what I do and keep Clorox wipes on hand so in between touching chicken, you can wipe your hands up so you're not contaminating everything. Whether you wash your hands or use Clorox, that's up to you. I'll link some Clorox wipes in the description down below if you want to help the channel out, but either way, just please keep your hands clean. With the chicken all cut up and set aside, now you can move on to your breading station. We're going to be using 3 pie dishes, and I use flour, eggs, and cornflakes. Yes, cornflakes, it makes an incredibly crunchy outside shell. It's friggin' awesome. I would also highly recommend, since this is a weight loss channel, to weigh out how much of each you put in the dishes so you can weigh out how much is left when it's over. While I will include how much I used in my macro breakdown, flour and cornflakes are dense enough calorically that you want to measure it out if you're trying to lose weight. So I would weigh each pie dish as you're putting the flour in, and then when everything's said and done, weigh how much is left in your pie pan so you can know exactly how much was used in your meal prep. You can either screenshot the shot that was just on the screen a second ago, or you can check the description down below for the exact amounts that I used in this meal prep, but take your cornflakes, put them in a blender, blend them up, and then get all 3 ingredients in your dishes. Once those are in your dishes, bring out the chicken, and then I would also bring a rack out to set finished breaded chicken on. Then move on to your seasoning. I normally put mine in the eggs, but you could also put yours in the flour. Either way, I do 15 grams of salt, or about 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon or about 5 grams of garlic powder, 5 grams or 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and then 5 grams or about a half tablespoon of white pepper. Be careful with white pepper, that stuff can get really spicy. With the seasonings in your pie dish of choice, then you can just whisk it all together so it gets mixed in, and then we can move on to the breading. Take your chicken strips, try to grab ones of the same size so they get cooked evenly, put it in the flour, get that coated, then throw it in the egg wash, get that coated, grab it and let it hang out to where all the extra egg can drip off of it, and then put it in your cornflakes. Flip it around until it gets all covered, and then put it on your rack to let it hang out until you have enough chicken strips to do your first batch. Now, my air fryer can handle 6 chicken strips at one shot, so that's how many I make when I do each batch, but however many yours can take,
oh, she'll take it.
Make that many of it, and then we're going to move on to cooking these things. You're going to need your air fryer first off, and then you'll also need a non-caloric cooking spray. We use the cooking spray because we're not trying to fry these bad boys in oil. We're trying to keep the fats and calories down to a minimum here to keep it high protein. Take the cooking spray and spray one side of all the chicken strips. Then take your chicken strips and lay the side you sprayed face down in your air fryer. Bring the cooking spray back and spray the other side of the chicken strips now. Close your air fryer and then fry it up at 400 degrees for 9 minutes. While that's going in your air fryer, since this is a meal prep, move on to repeating the process with the rest of your chicken. Go ahead and do your flour, do your egg, do your cornflakes, and get everything else breaded. Once your air fryer hits the halfway point on that 9 minutes, come back, flip over every strip, hit it with the cooking spray one more time, and then let it finish the drill. Also, always double check your chicken's temperature. Make sure it's at 165 degrees when it's cooked. I will link a meat thermometer down below if you need one, but it's always a good idea to check the temperature of your meats. Once the drill finishes, just lay it out on a little baking sheet and let it cool down because it's going to go into meal prep containers, and then just repeat the process on all the steps until your chicken's done. The one major note when it comes to meal prepping air fried chicken strips is that when you go to warm it up after the fact, it's not going to be as crunchy or as crispy as if you ate it fresh. But if you eat these things fresh, They are the crunchiest, healthiest, best tasting air fried chicken strips you can make. Now, since I divide it into 5 meals, the macro breakdown for each meal is 520 calories, 43.7 grams of carbs, 6.1 grams of fat, and 70.1 grams of protein. So you can eat this on the go, warm, cold. It's extremely delicious, and I get to enjoy my simple good old boy taste buds still, even while losing weight and keeping weight off. So if you try this recipe and you like it, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more recipes or help the channel out, consider hitting subscribe. If you want to see any other recipes made high protein, let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, I get to enjoy some chicken strips. Thanks for watching.